All right, back in house with Coach Dupree here at Gaston. And Coach, man, I got to look at your schedule. This is one of the toughest stretches in 2A for any team. When you play Pleasant Valley and Pisgah back to back, you know, most teams in this region are fortunate enough they get to break those two games up. That you guys get them back to back. You're right in the middle of it. Take us back to last week in Pleasant Valley's game, and then we're going to talk about Pisgah in a few minutes.
Yeah, man, it's a tough stretch. You're talking about two teams ranked in the top 10, and we got three in our region. North Sandmound's also ranked. I think they're like 5, 6, 7, all three of those guys. And Pleasant Valley was real physical, big, well coached. And, you know, they're really experienced, had a bunch of seniors. You know, the one thing I was proud of, though, our guys never quit. And in games like that, you know, you can get down in a hurry. And, you know, guys can just quit, lay down. But, you know, our guys never quit. We had everybody here at practice this week. So, I've been proud for that.
This game coming up against Pisgah, I don't know, man. I think outside of 5, nobody's beat them this year, correct? I mean,
Plainview beat them.
Plainview beat them?
Yeah, Plainview, you know, Plainview's undefeated. They're pretty good, too.
Yeah, they're a 4A undefeated.
Yeah.
And they've been rolling.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they look the part of last year's team, which means they score a lot of points and they do it in a hurry. And they can do it by ground or air. But what have you seen from them, particularly on film?
Man, they're just a hard-nosed football team. You know, you got to be hard-nosed if you're going to schedule teams like Fife and Plainview for your non-region games.
Non-region, yeah.
On top of already having North Sand and Plainview and Pleasant Valley in your region already. So, yeah, they're a physical bunch. You know, they're going to get after it. They're going to give a lot of effort. So, you know, the thing that I've been telling our guys, and we are getting better at it, is just we got to minimize our mistakes. And, you know, we just can't give up, and we just got to continue playing hard.
What is the difference between these Pisgah teams and what, like Coach Pruitt wrote out there, or do you see a ton of similarities?
You know, they're very, very similar, which they don't have the quarterback that they had last year.
He's a JSU.
Yeah. You know, no disrespect to them this year, but, you know, with having that guy at quarterback, they're just different with him at quarterback. But, you know, they're very, very similar. That, you know, they still, you know, run the ball well. They can throw it well, catch it well. So, you know, we got a game that we're going to have to go and compete and not beat ourselves and not make any mistakes just to even have a shot.
Yeah. They got a big one looming in North Sand. That's going to be huge.
Yeah. They, you know, next week I think that's going to decide. It'll decide who's going to win the region. And so, you know, that's what I talked to our guys about, you know, is thinking about stuff like that. So in the future we can put ourselves in that situation to where, you know, we're sitting here in week 7 and have a chance to win that game and, you know, win the region. So, but North Sand and Pisgah, Pleasant Valley, they're all really good ball teams.
What have you seen from your guys, like looking in the mirror this year, from the time you took over till now, that, you know, growth is always organically done, and it unfortunately, we live in a society where you think you just flip a switch or turn a light bulb on and it happens, but that's not the case. It's a lot harder than that, but you have seen some growth. What have you seen out of your guys this year?
Well, you know, when I took this job, I knew it was going to be a hard job, you know, and I told myself the one thing that I wanted out of our kids is, you know, if our record was bad early or if things went bad early, that I wanted to make sure kids continued to show up, they didn't quit, and they continued to play hard. And we haven't lost one kid. We hadn't had one kid quit from the time we started in the summer till now. So every guy that started with us, they're still with us. So that's really good, because typically even on good teams, players quit.
Yeah.
So when you're sitting there at 1-6, it's a lot easier to quit, because you're not making the playoffs. I mean, right now you're just playing for just pride.
Yeah.
And your brother's beside you. So I think one of the biggest goals that I have for our team is, to continue fighting and to keep everybody out here, and that's what we've done. And I'll look back, or we'll look back 2-3 years from now, and we'll realize how big a deal that was when all these guys stuck it out, and now they get to be juniors and seniors, and now they're getting to beat up on people. And we'll look back at this interview, 2-3 years from now, and we'll realize how big a deal that was.
Yeah, it's a big deal, because every foundation has to be built. Like they said, the old saying, Rome wasn't built in a day, but the first bricks was laid. That's a true statement. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah. And, coaching's hard, because we invest a lot of time and put a lot of stock in the kids. And, you got kids, you just never know how it's going to be day to day. But one thing I do know, and one thing that's for certain with this group, is that they're going to show up, they're going to be here, and that, that's been tough at a lot of other places that I've been. And those places were having success at the time, but, so I just hope we continue showing up, continue giving effort, and I know that they trust our process now. I know that they trust in our staff, and they're not focusing so much right now on the wins and losses, but what they are focusing on is getting better, and that's what we've done. And
Coach, before we shut it down, as of last week, you're going to be the head basketball coach as well.
Yeah.
How's that looking, and have you put a lot of thought into that yet, or have you just kind of said, hey, we'll cross that bridge when we get there?
Oh, well, it's kind of hard not to do some things. With basketball, and we've had meetings. I've been to a couple practices, and we got some fundraisers going on right now. I've always coached football, basketball, but I've never been the head football coach and head basketball coach at the same time. And so it's a little different, but I couldn't turn down an opportunity to help our kids. And when we talk about being in education and coaching, it's all about the kids. So, I'd rather go do it because the kids know me and I'm here. We had to do it real quick. And so I'm confident that those guys are going to believe in, what we're trying to accomplish, and they're excited about it, and I'm excited about it. And, I just hope we can develop a culture for, all our sports, especially our male sports, because, that's just what we need, and I think we're getting there.
You recruiting your field house any to get some guys out?
I mean, yeah. It's like I said, coaching's weird, man. But we're gonna have a tryout, and hopefully we get guys out and they want to be there. And and if we have 5 show up, that's how many we'll play.
We're going to battle with 5.
That's all it takes. We can start the game with 5.
That's it.
But I think we'll have some guys out there, and I think our boys will play hard, and they're gonna be better than what people think.
All right. Well, buddy, I appreciate you so much for sitting in with us again, as always, and good luck to you guys, man, in this gauntlet you're going through.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.